Well, I'm here at Colney with Ville Niskanen. He is a sports journalist from Finland. You're here today to speak to Teemu Pukki, Ville, and you're from working with a newspaper from the area that Teemu is from. Can you tell me what area in Finland that is?
Teemu is from Kotka, coastal town in Kymenlaakso, and our newspaper company works 5 regional dailies, and one of them is published in Kotka. So that's my background, and I'm going to spend 2 days here in Norwich, just trying to get the feel about the city and football, and of course to meet Teemu.
Indeed. And so, first time you've been to Norwich?
Yeah.
Impressed? It's slightly warmer.
Yeah, well, in Finland it's early spring, so when I left Finland, the weather was all the same, so it's not a shock.
That's fair enough. Of course, we're going to talk about the weather first of all, obviously. Yeah. So let's be brutally honest. We've got Teemu Pukki here. We've had him all season. He's been phenomenal. We like to think we have a Finnish superstar playing for Norwich City. Is that actually how it is?
Yeah, of course. When you talk about sports in Finland, you have to understand that football is not the most popular spectator sport. It's ice hockey, of course, when you go to North. But Finnish football is very widely followed on the national stage. So every time when Teemu Pukki plays for our national team, he's very, very exposed in the media. Everybody follows him, and of course, when Finnish football team has now, maybe they have a little hope of getting the big games, maybe the Euro 2020. So of course he's a superstar and a very, very followed sports figure at the moment in Finland as well.
Because we were trying to work out if he was one of the nominations for Finnish Sports Person of the Year last year. I think Teemu, when I asked him, he said, there are a lot of people there, but that would be something.
It's quite common that people playing team sports have difficulties to get enough votes, because of course Finland has a strong tradition in winter sports, athletics, and of course, to be honest, if a javelin thrower or skier takes gold medal on the world stage, it's going to be his title. Teemu should be one of the candidates, of course. When you make an impact in a big footballing country like England, you should be one of the shortlisted players.
It's interesting because he's beaten Sheki Kuchi's record for goals in a season in England, which was for a Finnish striker, of course.
Yeah.
There was some lovely words from Juri Litmanen on Teemu recently, and he is effectively a Finnish football god, I would imagine. So yeah. I think that's probably underlined just the progress that Teemu has made.
Yeah, I remember seeing him first time. He was playing for his home team KTP in Kotka. He was a teenager, but there still you could observe that he had potential. But of course, you see many footballers never fulfilling their potential. But it's, in my point of view, it's very nice to see that Teemu is finally doing so. He's always had an instinct for goal scoring, and now he's doing that. There's a saying among the Finnish football fans: Finnish presidents might change, but we have only one king, and that is Juri Litmanen. So that's his significance about Finnish football. Wow.
Well, given what he said about Teemu Pukki, I mean, that is quite something, really. I mean, that is interesting about his rise, because when he came to Norwich in the summer as a free agent, most Norwich fans had not heard of Teemu Pukki. I mean, it's caught us all by surprise. Is it that now he's maybe realised potential that most in Finland thought he had?
Finnish football media have always followed him closely, and I have seen him play. I think for him, he was a young player when he went to Sevilla and played there, but he didn't make an impact for the first team. So he came back to Finland and played the HJK Helsinki, as you would say in English. In Finland, we say the HJK. It was a good move for him. He had many good minutes on the first team, and of course, when HJK made an impact in the Europa League, they met Schalke, and he scored 2 goals against Schalke when HJK actually beat them at their home ground. And that was, I guess, that left the whole German football media in shock. And then when he scored a goal in Gelsenkirchen, there was starting to rumors to circulate that he may be on the move, and of course Schalke bought him. But of course, gaining minutes in first team in Bundesliga, he was competing with Klaas-Jan Huntelaar and some other players for the first team football. So he wasn't playing regularly. So he decided to move to Celtic in Scotland. I don't know. I didn't have much time to follow football back then, but obviously that wasn't maybe the right move. But then go to Denmark in Brøndby, which is one of the biggest clubs in Danish football league. There was when he finally, I guess, found himself as a footballer. Of course, now everything has went when he came to Norwich. Everything has went good.
Yeah.
In Finland, we might have known that he has the potential, but of course, when you don't play in the Europe's biggest league, you fly a little bit under the radar. I'm happy for the people in Norwich that you have a good goal scorer now. Yeah, well, you worked out you quite well, hasn't it?
Phenomenally, and I think everyone's delighted with what Teemu has done. Absolutely, and I mean, it does seem to have had that impact. We've had Finnish Canaries, which is a Norwich City supporters group in Finland. They've been delighted, I think, at what's happened, and I've had probably more correspondence from Finnish fans and of any other country in terms of what Teemu has done. So is there an essence, if of course this all ends the way we want it to and Norwich play in the Premier League, if Teemu is playing in the top flight like that, it could seep into more of the Finnish conscience?
Maybe. Of course, Finland has decades and decades long tradition of showing English football games on TV, so many Finnish people know English football teams very well. Of course, my father, who's 60 years old, he's a Liverpool fan. I, as a journalist, don't have a luxury to support anyone, but I do know people of my age. I'm 35, so when they were starting watching the football game, there was Manchester United. So maybe now the little kids who idolize Teemu, maybe they will become Canary supporters as well.
I'm going to take my sample size of Valtteri Bottas, Kimi Räikkönen and Teemu Pukki. All three are so Finnish superstars, obviously, but so laid back, yet supremely successful. Is there a trait in that and that maybe comes from them being in Finland in terms of helping them excel at sport?
There are some certain characteristics about Finnish, hard working, strong work ethics, and maybe of course the Finnish word sisu, which gives you the courage and ability to hang on. So maybe that has helped them out. They're hard working and they're humble, because it's a deep international nation's character, being humble and hard working. So that's the combination that leads to success if you have the potential. Like, of course, Kimi Räikkönen is a man of his own class. He's hugely popular in Finland, and he's got the very odd sense of humor. Yeah, that's the best answer that I can give you.
Ville, thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.